Lorna.
Okay, so let's talk about the other side of the office, and that's what's on the computer, which embarrassingly, it tells you how many unopened emails you have. And I have opened my computer, and there it says, and I'm going to confess, 6,000 unopened emails.
Okay.
I'm overwhelmed by emails. And so I'm obviously ignoring a lot of them. So tell me what your system is. We can't show a picture of it because it's on the computer.
Sure, and you're not alone. So I've worked with many clients with over 5,000. And when you have that many, it's almost like you're using the email inbox as your to-do list. So sometimes, there's an email that's going to take 20 minutes, and you just, you leave it, in your main inbox because you can't get to it yet and you don't have that kind of time to really think through what you're going to say. So we want a system for handling emails. And so my favorite tip is having the right attitude when you check emails, right? And this means a decisive stance when you're going to actually process. So there's checking email and then there's processing your email.
So checking, just to make sure I understand, checking is where you just look to see if there's anything important, critical that you have to respond to.
Right,
Okay.
and checking a lot of times ends up being a waste of time. That's where you're checking email first thing in the morning, and then an hour later, you answered a few of them, but you really didn't, eliminate much. And so you want to have at least 2 times during the day where you're processing, where you're in a decisive mode and you're going to get through it. The second big tip would be if it takes 2 minutes or less, you want to go ahead and get that email out of the way when you're in processing mode. So it could be just someone has an answer to a question, like a scheduling issue, and you're going to answer them. And but if you have something that it can take 2 minutes or less, you don't want to be opening your email inbox and looking at it, every time for that. So if you 2-minute email and you look at it 5 times during the day, just think how much time that adds up to. You want to just get it over with.
Okay.
It's like a little gnat.
Okay.
Just answer it.
Okay.
Get it over with, but set a time to work on the big emails, the ones that are going to take, more than 2 minutes.
Where you have to think out the response of the person, where you're having to do something in order to respond to them.
Exactly. So just kind of being educated about what's in your email box and how you're going to process that. You need a strategy. That's what I'm talking about. The attitude, the 2 minutes or less.
So in terms of emails, should I be putting the emails into files as they're coming in? And I guess that people use different systems, so they're called different things, but do they kind of automatically? And I know what's happened is that I have, that's a piece of interesting information. I've signed up for something, and now I'm getting emails constantly. So I spend a lot of time unsubscribing to.
Yes.
But is there a way to, some of that stuff I want, but I don't want to read it right now.
Well, that's a great thing that you mentioned, which is unsubscribing. So it seems like if you just take a second and you delete, like all these things that you're subscribed to, that would save you time. But with most people I work with, once we get off some lists, that could save up to 800 emails a year from even hitting your inbox. And what you want to protect your inbox. So go ahead and take that time to really unsubscribe and get off the list if you're not going to read it. If you are going to read it, I suggest a reading folder.
Okay.
And then this way, if you are like many of us, we ideally think, I want to read all these articles. I want to digest all this important information. And if you never get to the reading file, that's okay.
Because it's sitting in there,
it's there if you want it. It's there if you happen to have some time, or you really thought it was valuable, you'll go to it. But get those kind of things out of your inbox.
So I want to go back to something you said earlier about people want to see things on their desk. And actually, I just got a sign that we're coming down. But I just want to ask, how much psychology is involved in what you do? Can you tell me briefly?
Sure, that's a good question. I mean, we all have our blocks to productivity and we all procrastinate, and so it's eliminating procrastination. So if things are easy to find and easy to get to, and your file drawer actually opens and is not stopped by the the mega file sticking up, that's going to make it easier to file. So you're not dreading it.
Okay. Well, this is great information, and I know that you actually use somebody, and talking about procrastination, it's kind of a symptom of the situation. And so you
Right.
can use those procrastinations as symptoms to then respond to it. But thank you so much, Laura. I think you've helped a lot of us at least feel better about our messes. This is the first segment.